So yesterday we learned some pretty underwhelming slash facepalming news when it comes to the near future of the events in Dragon Ball Super, and huge shocker, Goku makes yet another extremely questionable decision involving Moro. But if you guys haven't already seen the early drafts of chapter 65, be sure to check out our previous video as well, because we'll be talking about that a little. With Goku single-handedly disregarding all of the events from the past, he goes on to do something that makes all of us shake our heads, even though he has managed to perfect Ultra Instinct at this time. With Dragon Ball Super the Moro Saga coming to an end very soon, I feel like, with the way things are now, there are a couple of ways I can see this whole thing ending now that everyone has arrived on the battlefield, minus the Z fighters that were already defeated outside of Goku, I guess. Shoot, even Beerus and Whis have shown up now, although it seemed that they had no intentions of stopping Beerus from inevitably erasing himself to give Goku and the others one more fighting chance. When Beerus was eventually erased, Goku showed obvious signs of drowning in his own rage and emotions, but within moments he was able to pull himself together, remembering the last words of his dear friend and exactly what and who he's fighting for in this epic battle, and this in itself caused him to eclipse any level of power he had achieved previously as he went on to master Ultra Instinct before our very eyes. Now, I know what most of you are thinking. Now that Goku has fully perfected Ultra Instinct, there is definitely only one way all of this could end, with a resounding and simple victory for our Star Saiyan once again. But in the past, even though things have looked very decisive, things haven't always gone the Z Fighter's way. Moro is extremely crafty and intelligent, as we saw from him devouring his own subordinates in order to power up to a state that rivaled even the unperfected form of Ultra Instinct, and with a cunning mind that I would even compare to Frieza's. If you saw the spoilers yesterday, then you know this battle definitely has not ended just yet. Yes, right now being fully healed by Dende and taking his own powers to a celestial level, Goku is well in the driver's seat to have ended this match in the last chapter after we saw him just absolutely demolish Moro, who couldn't lay a single finger on him. A complete 180 from the past few months. As Goku countered each of Moro's attacks involuntarily as his body was maneuvering on its own, Moro was left immobilized and all but dead under a boulder as he begged Goku for his life, but instead of killing him outright, Goku decided that they would battle to the death one final time. However, this time he would be fighting as an Earthling, and this in itself introduces us to the climax of the Moro Saga. With surely only a handful of chapters left, in this arc at least, in this video I want to present to you guys 3 ways that Dragon Ball Super should conclude by the end of this arc, and spoiler alert, none of these end with just a Goku victory and then we go into something like a time skip. If you guys want to check out the spoilers from Dragon Ball Super Chapter 65, which includes a rough summary of the event shown so far, as well as pre-draft images, that video will be linked at the top of the screen and in the comments, so be sure to go check it out and come back to this video, or check it out after this one because we will be mentioning some of the info we learned shortly. Also, be sure to have that notification bell turned on by clicking the bell icon down below to never miss an anime upload, and if you've been enjoying all of the recent content, consider leaving a like on this video as well. If you haven't already, be sure to follow on both Twitch and Twitter to stay up with me and all anime related content. But without further ado, mastering Ultra Instinct may seem like the end all be all. However, even when we think we have things figured out for the foreseeable future, Toriyama reminds us just who's in charge of how this story plays out. So far, Goku has been trouncing Moro ever since his transformation. However, with the developments we recently learned, things may change in the blink of an eye. Ever since we found out that Goku actually swipes the sensu beans from Krillin, who shows up in the final seconds of the battle, and gives one to Moro, I've had this sneaking suspicion that this fight may not end in the most obvious way. In the past, Goku has been shown to be overly merciful with his enemies, only killing a handful of times I think throughout the entirety of the series. His most famous controversial decision probably being what this very chapter has been mimicked after, as he gave Cell a sensu bean after quitting the match. Luckily, even though he blindly threw Gohan into the ring with no guarantee that he would awaken his power, things turned out for the better in that scenario. If this arc wanted to end in a similarly iconic fashion, although this may be the most far-fetched out of all of the scenarios we'll talk about today, Goku still has the ability to die in this battle. When I think of someone like Moro, I think of a sneaky, cunning villain who will do anything to win no matter the cost. Previously I compared his fighting mentality to someone like Frieza, and we've already seen what Frieza will do when pushed to the brink of defeat. As Moro begged for his life crushed underneath that boulder, I got flashbacks to when Frieza begged for his life after being sliced in half by his own attack on Namek. Goku once again showed mercy to the most malicious foe he had battled up until that point, and up until the very last second, he decided to let Frieza live. In this situation, he once again heals his opponent, allowing them one more chance in the battle, but once Moro gets back to his feet, he attacks Goku again. At the moment, I don't see any plausible way for Moro to defeat Goku one-on-one, and he has to know that, being as intelligent as he is. Once Goku puts Moro down one more time and he realizes that there's no use in fighting, I feel like it isn't impossible to think that he may take the exact same route as Frieza and decide to blow up the earth, or at least himself and Goku, and definitely taking him with him no matter what. I feel like this isn't way too crazy to think about if we remember that Whis and Beerus are on Earth at this moment. If Moro were to destroy the planet, Whis has already demonstrated that he's willing to bend the rules and turn back time just a bit, although with everything that's happened recently, it would be kind of counterintuitive for him to do that right now and would be extremely controversial among the Dragon Ball community. Although if he is able to grab Goku somehow and self-destruct, if not draining his powers, this could be a way to seamlessly lead into the next arc. Okay, so maybe that last one was kinda wild, but it does make more sense if we think about it as a way to lead into another arc, so effectively ending the Moro saga. My number 2 way Dragon Ball Super should end, however, involves a little more legwork. As I said earlier, the closer this battle comes to ending, the more similarities I'm seeing from previous Dragon Ball arcs. In the Cell Saga, the most memorable moment for most of us besides Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation has to be the famous Kamehameha beam clash between he and Cell. After being restored to the full extent of his powers, Moro lunges at Goku one last time in the final panel of the spoilers, and this, as we can assume, will lead into one final engagement between the two. I think it would be safe to assume that in this last battle, Goku would of course maintain the upper hand, but restoring Moro to full power again has restored his resilience as well, so I can see this battle coming to a classic Dragon Ball climax with a huge beam clash between Moro and a limit breaker Kamehameha from Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, at this point, Goku's been in Ultra Instinct for a few minutes, and while he has seemed to have finally perfected Ultra Instinct to the point where it may not destroy his body from extended use, it may still be draining a decent portion of his stamina, although not as drastic. Even if this isn't the case, Goku is immortal, so exhaustion is completely possible, and this could come in the form of overexerting with a final Kamehameha attack. With Moro knowing that this is his last opportunity and being fully healed only seconds ago, he may be able to outlast Goku in a constant beam struggle, but of course, we can't forget about the true MVP who is still getting healed as we speak. As Goku and Moro continue to beam struggle, Goku begins suffering from exhaustion and eventually he starts to be pushed back as his hair flashes from silver to black, indicating that he's slipping back into the imperfect form of Ultra Instinct. As he continues to be pushed back by Moro, who's gone berserk fighting for his life at this point, this would be a prime time for Vegeta to show up after being healed by Dende. He notices the beam struggle and yells at Goku to get his act together and use that Ultra Instinct power to put it into this. Now, Goku is exhausted at this point, and even though Vegeta's words are reaching him, he just doesn't have the stamina anymore. Vegeta, realizing that Goku is seconds away from falling to Moro's attack, decides to rush Moro, turning into a Super Saiyan Blue, but Moro notices him coming and grabs Vegeta by the throat. As Vegeta struggles, Moro is about to kill him as he starts to squeeze his throat, but Goku yells out Vegeta's name, panicking, which draws Moro's attention back to him, giving Vegeta the chance to blast Moro in the face with the Ki Blast. He drops Vegeta after being stunned by this attack, and this gives Goku the opening to overpower Moro's blast, but he hesitates for a split second because Vegeta is still in range to be killed as well. Vegeta yells at him to just do it already, so Goku apologizes to Vegeta and puts the absolute entirety of his power into his blast, but at the last second, right before both Vegeta and Moro are turned to dust by his attack, we see a staff appear over Vegeta's shoulder and he vanishes. Now, maybe this is a little too similar to the Cell games, but with the way things have played out so far, I don't think Toriyama minds referencing his old works, and honestly, this might be one of the most hype ways this saga could wrap up, so let me know your thoughts down below. I know I have a bunch of Cell Games fans here in the community, and it seems like the most realistic ending as well, maybe? Now for my third and final way I think Dragon Ball Super should end, this scenario thrusts us directly into a new arc as soon as the battle with Moro ends. Once again we return to the final panel of the spoilers from yesterday as Moro, after being healed by Goku, immediately attacks him again. Now Goku has shown some crazy new powers already, levitating Moro off of the ground amongst his superior speed and agility. As Goku dodges all of Moro's onslaught again and again, he could use these new powers to not only dodge all of Moro's attacks, but mirror all of his force as well. I think something cool that they could do here is have Goku mentally torment Moro while he's desperately trying to land a hit, forcing him to remember all of the beings he hurt and how he betrayed his own crew that had only him to believe in. Once Moro's completely exhausted and driven crazy from his own actions, Goku could return the force of all of Moro's attacks at once 100-fold, effectively rendering him unable to move a muscle and completely knocking him out. At this point, Goku, still in a Master Ultra Instinct, would give Moro to Jaco, finishing his duty of fighting him as a human, which really only meant making sure that Moro would never return to Earth again. This is when Beerus and Whis approached Goku to congratulate him on not only his victory, but finally mastering Ultra Instinct 2, but Beerus yawns, saying that it's impressive, but he can do it as well. Goku's face is still blank and he doesn't say a word to them and just turns back to Jaco, telling him thank you for everything he's done and apologizing about Beerus. Jaco tells him that he still doesn't quite understand everything that happened, but he knows Beerus did all of this for them, so he promises Goku that they'll never allow Moro to escape again, and they return to the ship. This is when Goku turns back to Beerus and Whis, who still look puzzled. He walks up to them with the same blank expression and questions them on why they didn't stop Beerus. Already knowing that Whis is under the same rules as Beerus, Goku directs his attention to Beerus, who has the authority to interfere in pretty much whatever he pleases in Universe 7, but instead stood by and watched as Beerus gave up his existence to do what Beerus could have done with no consequences. Beerus, of course, not feeling the need to explain himself to a mortal, reminds Goku that they aren't the Earth's babysitters and it really doesn't matter to him what happens. They just came here to get food. Whis remains silent the whole time, and them acting like Beerus' sacrifice meant nothing angers Goku even more as he powers up, still in Ultra Instinct. Beerus takes this as a challenge and he asks Goku, does this mean he wants to fight now? Goku reminds him that they're still due for a rematch anyway, but not here. The Earth has been through enough the past few months, so if they want to settle this once and for all, then they do it on another planet. Whis obviously says that he can handle that, and the three of them teleport away to an unknown location, leaving Krillin, who was still just watching the whole thing back on Earth, stunned at how quickly that escalated. Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku versus Ultra Instinct Beerus. This rematch would be an amazing thing to segue into the end of this battle, and even though my script may not be the most realistic or maybe cohesive way things would go, we've been waiting for this rematch for years, so let me know down in the comments if you would rather this ending than the rest. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you guys made it this far, I really hope you enjoyed it. This one was a little different, but we are getting closer and closer to possibly the end of Dragon Ball Super. There's still no guarantee of Dragon Ball Super 2 or a new arc or anything, so I thought it would be fun to theorycraft with you guys. So let me know down below in the comments which was your favorite scenario out of the 3 ways Dragon Ball Super should end. And if you have a different take, be sure to tell us down below as well. If you haven't already, be sure to have that notification bell turned on to never miss an upload. And if you've been enjoying all of the Dragon Ball content recently, consider leaving a like on this video as well. It really helps out a ton, guys. I know I always say that, but it truly does. Also, don't forget to follow on both Twitch and Twitter to stay up with me and all anime related content. But anyways, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.